Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode by Jen the Goddess Speaks. Thank you all so much for tuning in and coming here to witness with your ears and your heart. Y'all, this is a place where we dive deep into life's little lessons and finding ways that we can live more intentionally. And so, again, thank you all for coming here into my day ones. Welcome back. And if you are new here, please S with your girl. Share, subscribe, and support your girl. I love a good word of mouth. And remember, each one teach one. And today, I want to share some thoughts that have been marinating in my mind since a recent experience that reminded me of this profound truth. Now, it reminded me of this truth while I was listening to a sermon the other day. And basically, the bishop was talking about how life isn't about being perfect. And it's about showing up. And it's not about having all the answers or being the most skilled, but simply being available. And so he talked about availability over competency and staying consistent, y'all, in how we live, love, and grow. This is a mindset where we can apply everything or apply it to everything that we do when I talk about availability over competency. And what we got to understand is that you don't have to be the most talented, the most knowledgeable, or even the most experienced. You just got to be present and willing. And so with availability, it creates a connection. And guess what connection creates? It creates impact. And so I want to just kick things off with this idea when we talk about availability over competency. It's not because of my competency, but my availability. Isn't that such a humbling thought? And I know people don't like the word humble, but a humbling thought when it comes to our own self-awareness, where we can actually look at the reality of our mindset and how we act in this world and in our relationships and in places and in certain situations. I want y'all to think about it. How often do we hold ourselves back from opportunities or even relationships because we feel we're not ready enough, right? Quote unquote, or we're not good enough. But here's the truth, y'all. Being available, open, present, and willing is far more powerful than having all the skills in the world. We're going to talk about why availability trumps competency and why staying consistent matters more than the dramatic bursts of just all the effort we try to put in, and how the way we carry ourselves can tell the world who we truly are. And so whether you approach this from a faith perspective, your own personal spiritual journey, or just from a desire to grow as a human being, I think that these reflections will resonate with you. I want y'all to consider a friend who always shows up for you. Are they perfect? Probably not, because we all have things that we got to work on. But they're there when you need them. And that means more than their qualifications ever could. And so that availability is what builds trust and create opportunities for transformation. And I want to take another practical example. Imagine a parent, a friend, or even just someone trying to make a difference in the community. The people around you aren't looking for someone who has all the answers. They're looking for someone who shows up, someone who listens, someone who is willing to be there, even just someone trying to make a difference in your community. The people around you aren't looking for someone who has all those answers, as I stated. Being available, giving yourself to a bigger, meaningful purpose is what matters. Think of a teacher, y'all, who stays after class to help somebody who's struggling. And we all been there before. Not because they're the best teacher in the world. It's just because they care enough to make time. And don't we make time for what we care for? Okay. Or think about your neighbor, y'all, who brings over something when you're sick because they know you. Not because they're master chef when they bring you some soup or something, but because they noticed you needed that. It was an act of kindness. Now, whatever you are, wherever you are in life, whether you're starting a new career, you're mending your relationships, or even chasing a dream, I want you to ask yourself this: am I making myself available to the journey? Because availability is where growth begins. Although I stated availability over competency, availability can create competency over time. And so for those of you who look at this through a spiritual lens, I want you to think about how your faith or even the higher power often doesn't call the qualified. It qualifies the call. And with this, consistency is going to be key, because I want y'all to take this as a takeaway. Staying consistent each day so that you don't stray. Man, this one right here hits home, because I always talk about consistency. But consistency can feel like a grind sometimes, can't it? I mean, it's not flashy and it doesn't always give us instant results. Again, I want you to think about the power of regularity in your own life when it comes to consistency, because you got to stay consistent with these things over time, with being available for yourself. And so just think about a simple exercise, right? A simple thing. Exercising. A lot of people hate it. You don't have to crush a 2-hour gym session. I always tell people you got to start somewhere. Start with the foundation. Make it fun. Do something worth your while. Dancing, moving, walking around, doing chores. Something every day to keep some movement in your body. Again, just a 20-minute walk every single day can make a huge difference over time. And it's the same with our relationships. You know, when you get a daily text to check in with someone, even if it's brief, it still can build a bridge that lasts for a lifetime, that you will want to keep crossing over and over and over again. So the truth is, the most of the things that matter in life aren't achieved in a single grand big gesture. They're built day by day, brick by brick. Small intentional actions repeated over time create big, meaningful change. And so I want y'all to think about even someone who's an athlete when they're training for a marathon. They don't wake up one day and just go out there and run 26 miles. They train every day, y'all. They do it step by step, mile by mile, and they start increasing their time, their intensity, and also their stride, and all that goes into actually running a marathon. So it's a daily grind that builds their endurance and strength. And I want y'all to even take your relationships, whether it's romantic, it's platonic, or even a family member. You don't build trust and love through one big moment with these people. It's the little things, y'all. As I talked about, those daily check-ins, the kind words, the small sacrifices, the small gestures. Consistency build a foundation. Going back to being available. And y'all, consistency isn't glamorous. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's doing the right thing when no one is looking. It's the habits that you build when you think that they don't even matter, because they do. And for those of you all that is on a spiritual journey, this might mean practicing your faith daily, reading, praying, meditating, or even just reflecting. And so for others, it could mean just showing up for yourself and your goals, even when motivation fades. Whatever it looks like, consistency is going to keep y'all on track. And this goes into, again, that availability over your competency. But again, these things that you're doing consistently will build your competency. But in whatever that you are pursuing, it's the small things, those regular actions that keep you aligned with your purpose. And when you feel tempted to give up, I want y'all to remind yourself that consistency isn't about perfection. It's about the progress. Track your things, write it down. I have so many episodes on here with various topics that talk about a lot of this stuff. Being consistent, celebrating the small wins. Honoring yourself in a moment where you have completed something that may not be big to someone else, but is big for you. And also within the things that the bishop was talking about when he was talking about the availability over the competency and how we stay consistent in our journey, we talked about how the old you is gone when these things start to happen. The old you is gone. And here's a powerful line for y'all. That old me is not accessible and not even discernible. Y'all, I loved when he said that. And I want y'all to think about what that means for your own story. Who you were last year or even last week doesn't define who you are today, because growth is real and it is possible. So I want y'all to take a moment to reflect on something you've outgrown, because you were available to yourself and you stay consistent. Maybe it's a toxic relationship, a bad habit, or even just a mindset that kept you small. Imagine that part of you is like an old phone number. You changed it and it's no longer reachable. When someone tries to bring up the old you, you can smile and say, look, sorry, baby, that version of me isn't available anymore. Or that's not even me. The person that you once knew is not the person that you see standing before you right now. Imagine someone who used to struggle with anger and impatience. Over time, through reflection and intentional effort, this person became someone who leads with kindness and understanding. And so when you meet them now, you wouldn't even recognize the person they used to be. And that's what we call transformation. And many people think the same thing about me. That's like, where is this Jan? Or why do this Jan talk like that? Or I remember Jan used to do this. And I'm like, hey, Jan has evolved, and this is who I am now, and this is how I present myself to the world, because that old me is gone. And it doesn't mean that the journey was easy. Growth requires leaving behind those comfort zones, those old habits, and sometimes even relationships that keeps us tied to the past, that keeps you tied to the old you. But when we do that, we make space for something better. You know why? Because we are available for it. We made the availability happen. And this shift isn't just about letting go of the past. It's about stepping fully into the present. I got a previous episode talking about remaining in the present, which is my most played episode. I want y'all to check that out. The new you deserves to be celebrated. And when you have a new you and that old you is gone, let your actions and your life be a testament. Your life as a testament. The last point I want to share is this. How you carry yourself now should be a testament to the change, to the values, to your morals and beliefs that you have. I think this is the ultimate challenge for all of us, and I'm not going to lie about that, because people don't need to hear your entire backstory to know that you have grown. People don't even just see the change in what you say. They can see it in how you treat other people, how you respond to challenges in life, and how you live each day. I want y'all to think about somebody in your life who inspires you. What is it about them? It's not just what they say, it's how they show up in the world. And it's the kindness in their tone, the consistency in their actions, the integrity in their choices. You can be that person for someone else too. In fact, you already are, whether you realize it or not. And the way that you live speaks louder than any words. If honesty, I want y'all to take this for example. If honesty is your core value, it shows it in your decisions, even in the tough moments. Because if kindness is your belief, it's going to show in how you treat other people and even how you treat yourself, even when no one is looking. Whatever your faith, values, or beliefs are, the way you live speaks louder than any words ever could. And so I want y'all to relate this to your journey, because here's the thing. These lessons aren't tied to a particular belief system or a way of life. Whether you find inspiration in your religion, your spiritual journey, or simply in the ideal of becoming the best version of yourself, these truths are universal. And I want y'all to take a moment to even journal, meditate, or reflect on these questions. And the answers might just surprise you when you think about these things. And I want y'all to make this personal, okay? And if you have note-taking material now or something, or even just jot this down, I want you to think about, what does availability mean in your context? What does it mean for you? What does it look like? And how can you stay consistent in the areas of your life that matters the most? And what does it look like for you to embrace a new version of yourself and live as a testament to your growth? I want y'all to take away this. Show up not because you're the best. Okay? Show up not because you're the best, but because you're willing and you are available. I want y'all to stay consistent, because small daily actions lead to lasting change. And there's a book that is written by James Clear. And oh God, how am I going blank on this book? It'll come back to me. But there is a book, and it talks about, Atomic Habits. Got it. Atomic Habits by James Clear, okay? And it talks about daily things that you can do to build your different habits so you can stay consistent, y'all. And I want you to let go of the old you and live in a way that reflects your values and grow, because you don't necessarily have to always talk the talk, but you need to walk the walk. And these principles are universal, whether you're approaching this through religion, again, through a spiritual journey, just simply your personal development, because I'm very big on this. This can guide you to a life that's impactful and fulfilling. Again, impactful and fulfilling. And I got a challenge for y'all for the upcoming week, or even now. I want y'all to take one small action each day that aligns with your values, whatever your values may be. Maybe it's just being kind to somebody you don't know, staying patient in a tough, challenging moment, okay? Or just showing up for someone who needs you. You see how those little moments will add up to. And as I wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Your availability, your consistency, and your transformation, they're all part of your unique story. And the beautiful thing about this is that it don't always have to be perfect to inspire somebody. I can't tell you how many times our darkness may be someone else's light, because we told our story or we inspired someone through what we went through. It didn't have to be perfect. So being available means just showing up. Availability over competency. I want y'all to stay the course and let your life be quiet, but a powerful testament to the change that you're living out every single day. And this reminds me of a caption that I put on my picture today. Militant-minded, but a spirit of a silent warrior. Being strategic in our thoughts, showing up, being disciplined, doing what we got to do, making the most out of our time here, being intentional, but living through our actions with being a silent warrior. Sometimes we don't got to boast to speak about it. I let my actions do the speaking. I let my life be a testament to that. And so I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And I hope that this episode resonated with you. Please share this with someone who could use a little encouragement today. And I want y'all to remember that this journey isn't about getting it all right. It's about taking that next step one day at a time, little by little. And until next time, y'all, I want y'all to be well, my babies. Keep growing. And until then, I love you all. Bye-bye.